The sky was no longer blue. It was filled with shadows, massive alien ships that floated like silent mountains in the sky. Cities across Earth had stopped moving. People stood frozen, staring upward. No one spoke. No one ran. Everyone knew something had arrived. And it wasn't peaceful. A voice echoed across the world, speaking in every language at once. You have one choice. Submit, or be erased. The voice was cold, machine-like. It didn't beg. It didn't threaten. It informed. Humanity was no longer free. Panic followed. Governments tried to respond. Presidents, generals, world leaders, they sent messages into space. They asked for talks. They asked for peace. But no answer came. Only silence. And above them, the alien fleet hovered like vultures, waiting. In every capital, red alerts were flashing. Satellites were being destroyed one by one. Earth's defenses were useless missiles, fighter jets, even nukes. The aliens didn't react. Their shields didn't even flicker. People began to whisper. Are they gods? Is this the end of the world? But not everyone believed that Earth was powerless. In a deep, cold place, under the Pacific Ocean, far from the eyes of the public, a woman stood inside a metal room, staring at a wall of black screens. Her name was Commander Lynn Reyes. She didn't flinch when the alien voice played again. You have 24 hours. Around her, a team of silent officers waited. Reyes gave a simple order. Wake it up. A young officer hesitated. Commander, are you sure? It hasn't moved in decades. We don't even know if it works. Reyes turned slowly. It's time. She placed her hand on a scanner. The wall behind her opened with a hiss of steam. Inside, a screen lit up. System booting. Project Belay CKCOR, the officer whispered. That's just a legend. No, Reyes replied. It's insurance. The kind we were never supposed to use. Far above, one of the alien commanders watched Earth from orbit. His name was Velithka, supreme strategist of the Krathan Empire. He saw Earth's old, broken satellites, their primitive radio signals, their tiny, weak ships. He almost laughed. They still use combustion engines, he said to his second-in-command. And they still believe in freedom, the other one replied. Velithka sneered. To him, Earth was just another unclaimed world. One more race to be brought into the Empire. One more species to bow and serve. That was the law of the galaxy. But then, something strange happened. One of their scouting ships vanished. No alarm. No signal. It was there 1 second and gone the next. Then a second ship vanished. Frontklitsch. No, the AI responded. Vessel was erased. No trace. He narrowed his eyes.
Nice.
They're responding. Somehow. Back. On Earth, deep in a forgotten mountain in Antarctica, a different man was moving through dark tunnels, lit only by red lights. His name was Dr. Idris Van, once called a mad scientist, the only person who could unlock Earth's final weapons. He entered a frozen vault. Inside were rows of steel pods. It's one older than modern history. Each one human. Time to wake up, old friends, he whispered. They think we're weak. Let's remind them what we are. Around the globe, strange signals began to rise. Not from military bases, not from governments, but from abandoned space stations, from deep under oceans, from forgotten satellites. A pattern. A pulse. Something was coming online. In the middle of a dark forest, a young girl stared at the sky. Her father had told her stories of lost human fleets, secret warships, and colonies that vanished long ago. She thought they were fairy tales. But tonight, she saw a star move, fast, sharp, not falling, but returning. In the final hours of the alien countdown, Earth went quiet. Not because it was afraid, but because something was awakening, and the last message that played from Earth into space was not a surrender. It was a simple statement. This is not our end. This is your beginning of fear. The world held its breath. The alien fleet had given Earth 24 hours to surrender. That time was almost over. Yet no human leader had answered. No voice spoke from Earth. Cities went dark. Communication networks froze. It looked like Earth had finally accepted its fate. But beneath the surface, something had changed, deep under the Atlantic Ocean. Inside a hidden base once thought abandoned, a massive machine roared back to life. The ground shook. Steel doors opened that hadn't moved in 50 years. A red light blinked for the first time in decades. System reboot complete. Black Ore online. Commander Reyes stood inside the control room, her eyes locked on the screen. "Is the ship responding?" she asked. An officer nodded. "Yes, ma'am. Power levels at 78%. Weapons warming up. Cloaking field stable." She smiled. "Good. Let's remind them. Earth didn't forget how to fight." Far above, in orbit, alien ships scanned Earth's skies. The Krathan fleet had deployed over 100 scout drones to search for signs of resistance. So far, they had found nothing threatening. Earth's military satellites had been easy to destroy. Its space stations were empty, their cities quiet. To Supreme Commander Velithka, it was proof. "They are weak," he said. "They have no space fleet, no orbital weapons. Their time is over." But his second-in-command frowned. "We lost 3 more scout ships. No explosion, no signal. Just gone." Velithka narrowed his eyes. "Are you suggesting they are fighting back?" "I'm suggesting they've hidden something." In the dark sky over the Indian Ocean, a ripple appeared in the clouds. Nothing loud, no thunder, no lightning, just a quiet shimmer of air. Then a ship black as space itself appeared from the ripple and floated silently across the sky. It was shaped like a blade, long and thin. It had no sound. It gave off no signal. It did not glow. It simply moved. The Black Ore had returned. 30 years ago. Earth had begun a secret project to build a fleet that could fight outside the laws of physics, ships powered by dark matter, cloaked in quantum veils, able to erase themselves from enemy sensors. But the project was shut down. Or so everyone believed. In truth, ships were buried hidden away in the oceans and under the crust of Mars, waiting for a day Earth might need them. That day had come. Captain Alara Dane sat inside the Black Ore's command chair. Her eyes scanned the old interface. Her hands remembered every control. She was one of the original pilots, pulled out of retirement 2 days ago by a message that simply said, "It's time." "Power core stable," said her AI cloak engaged. "Fusion cannons locked, ready to strike." Lara gave a small smile. "Let's see if these invaders bleed." In orbit, an alien cruiser patrolled near the dark side of Earth's moon. It didn't see the Black Ore approach. It didn't detect any life signs. There was no warning. The alien ship simply exploded, cut in half by a beam of energy that appeared and vanished in 1 second. The other alien ships panicked. "We're under attack." Unknown origin. No visuals. No target locked. Velithka stared at the reports coming in. His voice dropped. What did they build? Back on Earth, Reyes stood in the control room, watching the reports roll in. 3 alien ships destroyed, 2 disabled. No human losses, and they hadn't even launched the second warship yet. She turned to her staff. "Begin Phase 2. Activate Mars." Across space near the red planet, an underground base came alive. Dust blew across the surface. The ground shook. Then a massive structure rose from the sand, circular, spiked, ancient-looking. A giant gate of metal and light began to open. Inside it, another ship waited. This one was even bigger than Black Core. Code name Leviathan, back in orbit. The aliens regrouped, confused and shaken. No human had answered their message. No treaty had been signed. And yet something was attacking them. Something they couldn't see, couldn't detect, couldn't stop. Velithka clenched his claws. "They were supposed to surrender," his advisor replied. "They are not surrendering. They are hunting us." From the shadows of Earth's deep sea to the silence of Mars, the old war machines were rising. They had waited in the dark for too long, and now they burned with new fire. Alien fleets circled Earth like sharks in deep water. But now they were nervous. One by one, their ships were vanishing. It's not destroyed in open battle, not caught in storms or sabotage, just gone. No signals, no escape pods, not even debris. Velithka, Supreme Commander of the Krathen Fleet, stared at the empty space where his forward scouts used to be. Another patrol gone, his officer said quietly. No warning. You saying Earth has cloaked warships? No, I'm saying something is hunting us. Hundreds of kilometers above Earth's surface, the black ore moved like a ghost, invisible to scanners, silent, deadly. Its weapons were quiet but precise. Each time it struck, an alien vessel died before it even realized it was in danger, Captain. Alara Dane sat in the command chair, calm and still. She didn't blink as her AI announced. Target locked. Cruiser class, 3,000 alien crew. Fire, she said. A beam of compressed gravity cut through the Krathon cruiser like it was paper. No alarms, no escape. Just silence far from the battle, hidden inside Earth's southern ocean trench. Commander Lynn Reyes watched from a command center deep below sea level. Her team studied the alien fleet's broken formation. They're pulling back, said one officer. We've scared them. No, Reyes replied. We've confused them. Fear comes next. She turned to a black screen with one word. On it. Goliath. Status. Sleep mode. Wake it up, she said. Let's give the galaxy something to remember. Meanwhile, across the solar system, forgotten stations came back online. Stations built long ago by a secret branch of humanity. Kind no one talked about. The kind that never stopped building weapons. The kind that never forgave Earth's exile from the stars. And now, they were activating again. Dr. Idris Van stood on the deck of an ancient-looking command ship. The ship's name was the Wraith. Its engines didn't burn. Its weapons didn't flash. It was invisible in every spectrum. Its mission, destroy, vanish, repeat. Ghost Fleet 1. Ready? Idris whispered. One by one, other ships responded across secure channels. Ghost Fleet 2, in position. Ghost Fleet 3, cloaked and loaded. Targets locked, standing by. They weren't just warships, they were assassins in the alien war room. Belithka shouted at his advisors. Explain this. Where are their bases? Their factories? Their stations? They have no empire. His top science officer answered with shaking hands. We don't know. They don't appear on sensors. Their weapons don't follow physics. We understand. Velithka growled. You're telling me Earth has ghosts? The officer whispered. Yes. Ghost fleets. At that same moment, in a distant part of space, another battle had already begun. The Krathen Empire had sent backup fleets toward Earth over. 400 ships strong, they never arrived. Why? Because halfway through their journey, every navigation system shut down, their engines failed, their ships floated helpless in darkness, and then the ghost fleets struck. Without warning, without light, without mercy. One alien captain, screaming over the comms, tried to send a distress signal. We're under attack. But there's nothing here. No enemy ships, no weapons firing, just the signal cut. The last thing they heard was a low sound, almost like a whisper in space. We never left. Earth. The media still had no idea what was truly happening. People around the world only saw the skies growing quieter. The fear was still there, but slowly. Something else was growing hope. Somewhere in Europe, a young boy looked through a telescope and saw something strange. He called his father and pointed. That star, it's moving. The father stared. That's not a star. And it was one of Earth's oldest colony ships, the Horizon ships, the Horizon, returning after 300 years. Humanity's forgotten. Children were coming home. Commander Reyes received the news in silence. Her voice was low but firm. Prepare for full strike protocol. Against what target? An officer asked. She turned toward the screen, showing the alien flagship. Their pride. On board the Blackcore, Captain Dane prepared the final phase of the hunt. They had revealed only a few ships. A handful of attacks. Just enough to plant fear. Now came the second message. not through words, through destruction, in the cold of space. Where screams couldn't be heard and light barely moved, Earth's ghost fleets danced between alien giants, cutting them down one by one. And every time an alien commander tried to fight back, there was no enemy to see, only fire, only silence. Commander Rajantal stood above the ruined city. He was Krathan tall, armored, bred for war. Around him, fire still burned through human buildings. The alien fleet had bombed the area to ours earlier. Now, drones searched for survivors. The mission was clear: erase resistance, show no weakness, leave nothing standing. But Rajantal didn't follow that order. He found the survivors first. A group of human children huddled in a broken shelter. Some were crying, some too weak to move. A nurse, bleeding badly, stood in front of them with a metal pipe, trying to protect them. "Go ahead," she said. "Do what you came to do." Rajantal didn't move. His finger hovered over the trigger of his plasma rifle, but he didn't fire. Instead, he lowered his weapon. "You are not soldiers," he said quietly. He called his drone back and turned away. The nurse blinked in disbelief. "Why? Why did you let us go?" He didn't answer, but that decision, that one act of mercy, would change everything. Later, back aboard his warship, Rajantal filed a false report. Sector cleared, no life signs detected. Told no one about the children, no one about the nurse. He thought it was over. But at WASN, 2 days later, a hidden human radio tower sent a message into deep space. "We survived. Grathan, let us live. Hope remains." That message was picked up by resistance cells across the globe and then far beyond Earth. Someone else heard it too. On the edge of the solar system, a forgotten colony ship called the Solaris Ark caught the signal. It was filled with humans who had left Earth 200 years ago, escaping war and politics. They thought Earth was gone. Now they knew it was fighting back. Their leader, Admiral Kale, stood up from his command seat. "Clock course back to Earth," he said, "and arm every cannon. If the Krathan are attacking our home, we end them." Meanwhile, back on Earth, Commander Lynn Reyes listened to the same broadcast. She turned to her officers. "The aliens showed mercy," she said. "Was there a mistake?" "Why, ma'am?" one officer asked. "'Cause now we know. They have fear." Inside a Krathan command ship, Supreme Commander Valithka slammed his fists into the wall. "Who spared them?" he demanded. "Who allowed humans to survive?" No one answered. But intelligence reports confirmed it. Survivors were spreading. The story, Earth's resistance, had new strength. Underground movements were growing. Entire cities were rising again, fueled by one simple truth: the Krathan were not gods. They could be defied. Somewhere in a hidden cave system in South America, a human resistance leader named Tasha Kelm watched a map flicker to life. Dots glowed across the screen places, where small groups were beginning to fight back. She raised her old Earth issue rifle and spoke into the mic. "You heard the message. One alien spared children. That means they can hesitate. And when they hesitate, we strike. Dumb board the Black Core." Captain Alara Dane reviewed footage of the incident. She saw Rajantal lower his weapon. She saw the children live. She didn't feel gratitude. She felt certainty. "He broke the chain," she said to her AI. "Their unity is cracking." "Is that a tactical advantage?" the AI asked. She smiled. "No, it's worse. It's emotional. That's what they fear most about us." In the Krathan High Command, arguments began. Some leaders believed Earth was a lost cause, too primitive to win. But now, cracks appeared in their control. Young warriors began to question the mission. Some asked, "Why destroy a species that can't fight back?" Others whispered, "If one of us showed mercy, maybe more will." And the worst part? Humans knew it. From the shadows, Earth's hidden fleet prepared its next phase. Goliath-class warships began to rise from deep bunkers. Orbital cannons were mounted to Earth's moon. Human ships started slipping into alien-controlled space. But no major attacks came yet. Why? because Earth wasn't trying to destroy the Krathen, it was trying to divide them. One act of mercy had planted a seed, and that seed was now growing into rebellion, not just on Earth, but within the enemy. Far beyond Mars, in the dark corners of the solar system, something ancient began to stir. For thousands of years, it had remained hidden behind a massive asteroid field near Jupiter. It was once Earth's greatest secret, a portal built by humans before their fall from the stars. They called it the Storm Gate. It hadn't opened in 3,000 years until now, Commander. Linrea stood inside Earth's primary command bunker. Her team watched the data streaming in from deep space probes. "Ma'am," an officer said, voice shaking, "the Storm Gate just activated." Reyes leaned in. "Are we receiving a signal?" "Yes, but it's not from us. It's from them." Everyone in the room went quiet. The message was short. "We heard your call. We are returning." Reyes smiled slowly. "Let tell Blackor to prepare for visual contact. The Forgotten are coming home." The alien fleet orbiting Earth had no idea what was happening. Velithka was too busy trying to silence rebellion within his own ranks. Reports of mercy, of hesitation. Even worse rumors that humans had allies returning from deep space. "Lies," he growled. "Earth is alone." He was wrong. Near the Storm Gate, space rippled. Lightning sparked between floating metal rings the size of mountains, and then it opened. A wall of light tore through space, and out of it came the first ship. It was massive, larger than any Krathen vessel. Shaped like a spear, its surface glowed with silver-blue armor. More followed. 10, then 50, then hundreds. A forgotten human fleet, not broken, not lost, upgraded, perfected. Angry Captain Alara Dane received the transmission first on the Black Oar. "This is Admiral Kale of the First Outer Colonies." "Earth Command, do you read?" She responded calmly. "We read you, Admiral. Welcome back to the war." "War," Kale replied. "This isn't war. This is vengeance." In cities across Earth, giant holograms lit up the sky. They showed images of the returning fleet, ships that looked like dragons, like swords, like ancient monsters made of metal and fire. People stopped and stared. For the first time in weeks, they didn't feel fear. They felt hope and fury. In the Krathen Command Center, panic spread. Their sensors showed hundreds of ships entering the system, human ships that didn't exist on any galactic registry. "These vessels are unrecorded, their designs. We've never seen them before," said one alien engineer. "They shouldn't exist." Velithka shouted. But they did, and they were heading for Earth. The returning fleet didn't waste time. Admiral Kael gave a single order. "Begin orbital cleanup. Target only Krathen warships. Spare no one." The sky over Earth caught fire. Laser beams. Magnetic warheads. Sonic pulse weapons that shattered enemy cruisers without touching a single human structure. The Krathen. Ships began to fall one by one. It wasn't a fight, it was a storm. Back on Earth, Reyes watched the alien fleet break apart. "The Storm Gate worked," one officer said. "They're here." Reyes nodded. "Let the galaxy watch. Humanity has returned, and we brought our deadliest children with us." Meanwhile, in a ruined building in New York, a teenage boy climbed to the roof and stared up. He saw hundreds of glowing trails in the sky, human ships flying in formation. He turned to his younger sister. "They came back," he whispered. "Everyone said they were lost, but they came back." "Are we winning now?" she asked. He didn't answer, but he smiled. Deep in space, Krathen reinforcements approached the system. Velithka had sent for help, but the returning humans were ready. From behind Neptune, a second human fleet emerged, ships so advanced they didn't look like they belonged to the same universe. Some looked alive. Some were invisible to the eye. Others warped gravity around them like a cloak. One ship, the Oblivion Lance, fired a weapon that erased a Krathen battleship in total silence. Not even dust remained inside the alien empire. News of Earth's return spread fast. Some worlds celebrated in secret, others rebelled openly. Slave races took up arms. The Krathan High Council sent a desperate message to Velithka. Retreat, negotiate, offer them peace. But he refused. They gave us no choice, so we'll give them none in return. He didn't know that's exactly what Earth's planned from the start. The Krathan Empire stretched across hundreds of worlds. It had ruled the stars for thousands of years with power, fear, and silence. No one resisted. No one dared to speak against them. Every planet under their flag knew the law: submit or be destroyed. But then, Earth said no, and that one word no was now spreading like wildfire across the galaxy. On a mining planet called Varnex 7, the first rebellion began. The miners there weren't human. They were a slave species known as the Drav. Tall, strong, but forced to work in deep caves for Krathan crystal fuel. One night, a message arrived from Earth's resistance. It wasn't a call to fight. It was a recording. Children laughing. Human children, alive, safe, free. That sound broke something inside the Drav. They had not heard laughter in 100 years. That night, they rose, with old tools and stolen parts. They overran the Krathan guards and took control of the entire mine. The rebellion had begun. Similar sparks started on dozens of other worlds. A whisper from Earth reached them. You are not alone anymore. And just like that, the galaxy started to burn from the inside out. Velithka stood inside his warship, staring at the star map. Red dots marked human ships approaching. But now, blue dots lit up too. His own planets were rebelling. Why are they doing this? He growled. His advisor spoke carefully, because Earth's defiance showed them hope. They see us losing control. Then erase that hope, he snapped. Burn those worlds if you must. But it was too late. Admiral Kale, aboard the Solaris Ark, had seen the signs. Rebel planets sending distress signals. Krathan colonies, calling for help not from their empire, but from Earth. Kale gave the order. Begin Operation Phoenix. Send supplies, send weapons, send our message. What message, sir? Asked a young officer. The age of submission is over. On Earth, Commander Reyes watched rebellion reports come in from across the stars. She stood in the main war. Room silent as screens filled with faces alien rebels calling for support. They're not just fighting back, one officer said. They want to join us. Reyes nodded. Then let's give them a banner worth following. She uploaded a single file to every known rebel system. It wasn't a weapon. It was Earth's anthem, played during the first human uprising against extinction. A song of survival, a song of defiance. The rebels wept when they heard it, and they picked up their weapons with new purpose. In a small Krathan city on the moon of Drell, a high-ranking alien general removed his helmet. He looked into the eyes of his soldiers. The humans fight for more than power. They fight for the future. What do we fight for? No one answered. So he made his choice. He dropped his rifle and turned. I won't kill for fear anymore. 30 soldiers followed him. The Krathan High Council collapsed 2 days later. Half of its members fled. The others were executed by their own guards. Why? The people had heard Earth's voice, and they wanted that freedom to inside the Black Hole. Captain Alara Dane received a direct message from one of the rebel worlds. A simple sentence. If Earth leads, we will follow. She sent one back. Then stay close. The fire has only just begun. Meanwhile, Velithka's fleet was falling apart. 2 of his most trusted admirals defected during a battle near Saturn's rings. One of them, Admiral surrendered his entire fleet to Earth. And with that, Earth gained 200 alien warships without firing a shot in orbit around a rebel planet. Earth's new combined fleet formed for the first time, humans, Drav, former Krathan officers, even artificial life forms once used as tools. They stood side by side, in their fleet's name, the Free Alliance. From a single act of rebellion, from one broken planet that refused to bow, the stars had begun to change. The empire that ruled with fear was crumbling, and Earth, once the weakest world, was now leading the charge. Not because it was the strongest, but because it was the first to say, no more. It began with silence, no alarms, no warnings. No countdown, just silence. Then the sky lit up. Over Earth's northern hemisphere, space shimmered like glass cracking in slow motion. The Krathen fleet had arrived. Over 1,200 alien warships, black and deadly, moved into orbit. They came with one purpose: to finish what they started. Supreme Commander Velithka stood aboard the flagship, cold and proud. "No more tricks," he said. "No more delays. We burn Earth tonight." Ships aimed everything they had at the planet below, but they didn't know. Earth was already aiming back, inside Earth's moon. Hidden behind layers of rock and false readings, Aegis Protocol's secret defense. Weapon unlike anything the Krathen had ever seen. It didn't fire missiles. It didn't shoot lasers. It bent space itself. Commander Rhea stood inside the control center beneath Luna Base, her face lit by a single red screen. "Aegis is ready," her team said. "Target lock complete." She gave the order, "Activate the sky." Above Earth, just as the alien fleet prepared to fire, the sky shifted. Not a storm, not clouds. Something deeper, like the fabric of space, was folding, and from behind Earth's shadow, hundreds of human warships decloaked at once. Blackor, Leviathan, Solaris, Ark, Wraith, and dozens of new ships, born from rebellion, every one of them aimed at the invaders. Admiral Kale of the returning human fleet sent a final message to the Krathen. "You had your chance. We gave you silence. You answered with death. Now, hear our reply." He raised his hand. "Fire." Space turned into fire. Human weapons filled the star's gravity warheads. Sonic displacers, antimatter bursts, alien ships exploded in waves. Krathen cruisers spun out of control. Their shields failed. Their commanders screamed. "Where are they? What is this?" They were hiding behind the planet's magnetic field. "We're surrounded." But it wasn't just Earth's fleet attacking. Rebel ships jumped in from across the system. Former slaves, exiled colonies, even rogue AI warforms, all joined in humanity's side. The Krathen fleet was drowning in light. Inside the flagship, Velithka roared. "Full assault. Target their main cities. If we can't rule Earth, we'll destroy it." But his command never reached the fleet, because Aegis Protocol activated. A low hum echoed through space, then silence, and suddenly, gravity shifted. Krathen ships were pulled off course, as if dragged by invisible chains. Some smashed into asteroids. Others spun uncontrollably and collided with each other. Something is tearing space apart. It's not a weapon, it's a trap. Aegis didn't shoot. It rearranged the battlefield, Captain. Alara Dane, aboard. Blackor flew through the chaos like a blade through smoke. "Engaging flagship," she said. "Prepare Nova Cannon." A glowing sphere of energy formed at the front of her ship. She aimed directly at the Krathen. "Command ship the monster that led the invasion. For every city you burned, for every child you silenced, fire." The blast punched through the enemy flagship's shields, hull, and reactor.VALYTHK saw the light before it hit, and then nothing. On Earth, people looked up and saw the impossible. The sky was glowing with battle, alien ships falling like stars. Human ships holding the line. A young girl in Africa whispered, "We're winning." And this time, no one corrected her, because she was right. Hours later, the battle ended, not with surrender, but with silence. Every Krathen warship was gone, some destroyed, some captured. Others fled into the dark, but Earth still stood, not alone, not broken, stronger than ever. In the war room, Rias watched the final map update: green lights, human allies, red enemies. Only a few red dots remained, scattered, hiding. "Prepare the message," she said. "Broadcast it to every system." A screen lit up across 1,000 worlds, words written in every language known to the stars. "This is Earth. We do not kneel. We do not forget. We do not lose. Those who raised their weapons against us run, and far beyond the solar system, in distant galaxies." Old enemies saw that message, and for the first time in history, they feared Earth. The war was over, but Earth wasn't celebrating, not yet. Smoke still drifted across the stars. Broken alien ships floated above the planet like shattered bones. Hundreds of rebel ships moved in silence, searching for survivors. In gathering the dead, Commander Lynn Reyes stood on the highest platform of Luna Command, staring at Earth. Below, her hands rested behind her back. "We did it," one officer said softly. Reyes didn't smile. Not yet. Not until the last enemy knows exactly what we are. Across the galaxy, news of Earth's victory spread like wildfire. Entire systems went dark, not because they were destroyed, but because they no longer obeyed the old empire. The Krathan Empire had fallen. Its leaders were either missing or dead. But even now, some warlords refused to accept defeat. They hid in the outer zones, trying to rebuild their forces, waiting to strike again. Earth didn't wait. Admiral Kale stood on the bridge of the Solaris Arc. Behind him, the Free Alliance. Fleet was ready, ships from Earth, from former slave worlds, and even defected Krathan vessels. "We gave them a choice," he said. "Submit or step aside." They chose war. He looked into the camera as his message went live across every known system. "We're not asking anymore. You brought fire to our skies. Now we bring justice. To yours." The first strike was silent. A rogue Krathan War station was hidden near a collapsing star. It had cloaking fields, stolen technology, and elite forces. It was gone in 7 seconds. No warning, no conversation. Just a silent flash, and the station was erased, back on Earth. Civilians began rebuilding. Cities that once burned now grew gardens. The people were different now. Not weaker, not colder, just sharper. They knew the truth. Peace isn't given. Peace is defended. Strength with unity. Captain Alara Dane walked through the Black Core's lower hangars. She looked at her tired crew heroes. Each of them manned, she said, just one sentence. "We're not the same species they attacked." No one argued. Meanwhile, in the ruins of the Krathan capital world, rebel leaders raised a new flag. It wasn't just Earth's banner. It was the mark of the Free Alliances, symbol of worlds that had risen from ashes. One by one, planets joined, some to survive, some to stand tall, and some because they believed in something they'd never had before: freedom. A Krathan survivor sent a message to Earth. His face was scarred. His voice cracked. "Why are you doing this? Why not stop? Why not rest?" Commander Reyes responded. "Because when you came to Earth, you gave us one choice: surrender. Now we return the favor. You can run, you can hide, or you can kneel. But we will not ask again." In one distant galaxy, a council of older alien races watched Earth's rise with caution. They had stayed quiet during the war, afraid to get involved. Now they argued, should we meet them? Should we fear them? Should we stop them? Ancient beings stood up. You had your chance to protect the galaxy, and you stayed silent. He pointed to the sky. He didn't. Earth did not become a conqueror. It became something more dangerous, a warning, not a monster. But the thing monsters fear. And as the stars slowly turned over thousands of new worlds, children of every species were told a simple story. A small blue planet was once told to kneel, and instead, it made the stars shake. Final transmission from Earth. "We don't want your empire. We don't want your riches. We don't want your thrones. We just want you to remember what happens when you push humanity too far." The end.